Hello, 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 and welcome to episode 462 of Prog Review. Today, if you read the title of the description, I'm talking about Daniel Lanois' Acadie. It's not prog, it's not prog, it's not prog, but hey, what can you do about it? Until I wind this down and call it Darren's Music Go Round, it's Prog Review, and it's it's what happens when you adopt something and you kind of you're stuck with it, aren't you? And I want to talk about other albums. I don't necessarily want to be talking about the same old stuff. But anyway, it's about that's a really bad start, isn't it? Really. But let's pretend it's prog. Can we get over that? Prog Review's just a name. It's just a brand. Yeah, it's like vacuum cleaner, isn't it? Hoover. I don't know what I'm talking about now. Anyway, this is Acadie by Daniel Lanois. Daniel Lanois is really, really important in the world of prog. He is because he's worked with Brian Eno, and he also produced Peter Gabriel's So. So he's his involvement there. U2, he's had a lot of good involvement with them. Though they're not really prog unless you talk about their Zooropa album. So anyway, this goes back to 1989. This album, 1989. It's one of those. I think it's one of those classic albums. It's one of those albums that you should really pick up. And again, with Daniel Lanois, he's an amazing producer. He's got a fantastic set of ears on him. He's very good at creating atmosphere and drawing a performance out of bands, and there's a lot of atmosphere on this album, from the opening track Stillwater and the Maker, which is the second track, which is again a lot of soul on this album. And again, it's not music that I'd normally get into. No, but he's lucky because he's Canadian. I do have a soft spot for Canadians. Michael Brook worked with Daniel Lanois and Brian Eno. It's all linked, you see. But yeah, this goes back a long time. I remember picking up Robbie Robertson's album from I think it was '87, which Daniel Lanois produced. You see, and it all kind of pulls together. Story there is I asked the missus out, and I was so elated walking on it. She said yes. I bought myself a copy of Robbie Robertson's album. Somewhere down the crazy river. That's on it. And again, Lanois worked on that, and that's a very atmospheric classic album. And so is this. And in some ways, they're almost like a good double bill. If you put them back to back, I must do the Robbie Robertson album one day. And it's the same with this. And what you get here is it's almost borders on folk blues. I think again it's very hard to describe because it's almost like an ancient, timeless music that he has created. And there's some really nice moments on here. There's some light moments, Jolie Louise, which I quite like, which is a bit more upbeat, and I think it's partly sung in French, and then you get the really, really deep atmospheric stuff like Under a Stormy Sky and Silliam's Hill. And there are a lot of people that play on it. Brian Eno's on it himself. Larry Mullen appears on the album. So does Adam Clayton, Roger Eno, Aaron Neville. So yeah, it's a really, really, really big album. And I picked this up off the eBay, £3. And so, because I did have the CD from back in the day, and I sold it, and I thought, well, let's get the vinyl, and I listened to it this morning. And I thought, do you know what? And because I just really like this album, I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna make it a prog review, and the bastards all can moan about it. And it's like I said, it's 41 minutes. It's not too long. It's not too short. It's just right. It's just one of those just right albums, and yeah, I do recommend it. I do recommend it highly. You know where this is going with the final review, and also what you get on here is you get Lanois' fantastic steel guitar playing, which comes into its own on the album Belladonna, which is back a few years ago, which again I think is well worth checking out if you like instrumental music. But yeah, I mean, it's Lanois that really opened up my eyes to the slide guitar. I know how you all love my slide guitar playing. Oh man, I'm bad. so bad I sold my slide guitar. But yeah, I mean, I really do like this record, and I think it's out there. I think he reissued it in 2005. Well, that's 11 years ago. But yeah, I think you still get the Nouveau vinyls and that, and yeah, do give it a chance, because it's one of those records, and of course it features the Omnichord, the great Omnichord by Suzuki. Yeah, Suzuki made this instrument called the Omnichord, and it's like a digital auto harp. Oh, auto harp! Auto harp's used in like bluegrass music. You finger the chords and then you strum it, but this is digital. You finger the chords and you use your finger. Eno uses the Omnichord quite a lot. I think it even featured on a couple of Penguin Cafe orchestra songs too. It's a curious instrument, and it features on this. So yeah, you get some very interesting instrumentation. It's really well produced, and it's got tunes that go in and stay in. And I do believe it is a classic album, and I think Daniel Lanois, he needs more credit. He needs more credit, because he's been behind some of the biggest records in the world, and yeah, and that's why you've got to go out at least, or go on the YouTube and listen to it, because that's what the kids do these days. Do give it a listen, and I really like his solo career. He had a great album out a few years back called Shine, which was good, and there was a one he did. It is what it is. What it is. What it is. What it is is what it is, which came with a DVD, which is absolutely fantastic album too, and of course Belladonna and the Omni series. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, and so that's why I am giving this. He says 5. I'm giving this five still waters out of 5. That's 5 still waters out of 5. That is terrible. I'm stinking the place up with it. But do give it a go, because I do think it is one of those great albums from the time. And again, it's one of those albums that you don't get now, and I don't think you would get now. It appeared, and again, I think it did quite well. Oh, maybe I imagined it did well. No, it didn't do very well at all. 166 on the Billboard 200. Surely not. It did. I'm sure it did well over here, because I remember it was always on the record racks. But I must have imagined it. But that's Wikipedia. Maybe Wikipedia's wrong. And my name is Darren Locke. I've been blabbering on about Daniel Lanois' Acadie album from 1989, September the 26th. God, wow, those were the days. And yeah, really, really cool album, which I thoroughly recommend. I know it's not prog, stop moaning about it, but like I said, unless I change the title of the bloody strand, what am I going to do? what am I going to do about it? And then I'll start doing the prog albums and then people say you can't. It all gets complicated. Anyway, thank you for watching. There's only one more thing to say, and that's prog on. It's not prog.